So what can be said about Dragon Ball? Literally everyone has heard of it. Notable for being one of the most popular manga and anime franchises created back in 1984 by Akira Toriyama, spawning a more popular sequel, Dragon Ball Z, pretty much into other media. Of course, we're gonna talk about the video games. There were many Dragon Ball games since the Famicom era, and even today, there are more Dragon Ball games than before. But today we're going back in time in the PS1 era. I will review Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. I need to get a copy of that game first, even though I could just emulate it or play it in any other ways. Today we're gonna talk about something much worse than that. We will be looking at Dragon Ball Final Bout, released in 1997 for the PlayStation. However, in North America the game is called Dragon Ball GT Final Bout, and the GT is known as the black sheep of the franchise. Now the PS1 era Dragon Ball games weren't really all that good, but this one on the other hand, oh yeah, this one is something much worse. But is this game really that bad? Well, let's find out. So the game starts with a good looking anime cinematic that for the most part looks very good, ignoring some of the odd character drawings and stuff. Like that, it's pretty much a very solid looking FMV. Then we get to the menu screen. Now my copy of the game, by the way, it's in German, although the voices are in Japanese. The North American version on the other hand has English voice acting, but it sounds terrible and was made before Funimation got the rights to Dragon Ball. When we get to the character select screen, we have a couple of playable characters. I'm going to pick Goku. And then I start the game and my god, these controls are terrible. And look at this. He's beating the shit out of me. Okay, first of all, the controls are awful. The movements feel stiff and floaty, and the hits take a while to actually move. Also, when I got to the fight with Super Little Goku, I failed. I decided to switch characters to Vegeta. He's already Super Saiyan, so it might be easier. Hell no, it isn't. It is still broken. Can I mention the fights feel slow and dull? Even though Dragon Ball is known for its fast-paced fight scenes and quick-paced action. Eventually I beat Goku, and guess what? The game stopped reading the disc, more specifically my PS2, to the point I thought the disc was scratched, but it looks alright. No matter what I did, the PS2 just refused to read the disc, so I had no choice but to switch to my PS3, and now it worked. This time I decreased the difficulty to easy and also disable meteors and other things to make the game easier. Oh yeah, the meteors, I need to mention that. So at times you can perform a chain of attacks that gives you more damage. However, when I had it enabled, the opponent kept doing it. Meanwhile, I had no idea how to do it, so I didn't even bother the fuck out of it. Anyway. Not only that, but this time I managed to fight and actually win a lot of the fights. Also I used a cheat code to unlock more characters. There's also a Super Saiyan 4 Goku cheat, even though I forgot how to use it. But still, now I picked Super Goku. Also performing the Kamehameha is a pain. I just kept pressing the D-pad keys in the same direction multiple times and actually performed it. But even then it takes a while to get used to it. Overall, the game went from very hard to dull easy for the most part. Like, look at me fighting Cell. Even though he's literally the antagonist of the Cell saga, just look how pathetically easy he was when I fought him. Also, I would like to mention I have no idea how to fly. I don't have the manual and I didn't even look at online how to fly. However, as of writing the script I did, so this is how. As for the graphics, even for the PlayStation, they look ugly. The character models are just awkward and ugly 2D models that are just awkward to look at. The backgrounds look dull and barren. Like, look at the grass here, it looks like vomit. The voice acting is minimal. As mentioned before, it's all in Japanese, while in the US release it's English with awful voice acting. I don't have the footage for the English voices, but if you wanna hear how bad they are, then just look online. As for the music, I think it's very good. Each character has its own unique song during the fights. In my personal favorite being the SSJ for Goku team. Another thing I should mention is based on the energy of your character, he can get tired, so at least there's a good detail. It's similar in the Budokai games, how your character can get tired. Another issue with the gameplay is the camera. It's awful, as it literally changes in awkward positions and that sometimes it just zooms in when someone gets hit, which gives you a terrible time to react or move to get to the opponent. Anyway, after all of that we get to the final boss, who is Great Ape Baby Vegeta. And boy is he frustrating. He's very hard to hit if you have no idea how to fly, and his hits take too much damage. I couldn't beat him, and trust me, even if you do, it's not worth it. There's no unique ending for each character or anything, as after that you just unlock all the extra characters and get back to the title screen. But I couldn't get it, and I wouldn't bother to finish it. Overall, Dragon Ball Final Bout is a terrible mess of a fighting game. It's awkward, not fun, ugly, unpolished, and overall, it's basically right up there with some of the worst fighting games ever made. I would only recommend you to play this game if you're a hardcore Dragon Ball fan, or have GT as your guilty pleasure, but overall I give this game a 1.5 out of 5. If you want a better Dragon Ball game, then play the Budokai games, the Budokai Tenkaichi games, Raging Blast, Xenoverse or Fighters. All of them are better alternatives to this. Or if you want a better old school Dragon Ball game, then play the Super Butoden games instead. This game is not only the worst Dragon Ball game on the PS1, but it's probably one of the worst games I played on the PS1. Yes, I didn't talk about the practice or the World Tournament mode. But why would I bother where there's nothing unique in the practice mode? And I don't even have anyone to play the World Tournament mode with me, as it's multiplayer only. Also, I need to mention about the awful controls. You're forced to deal with the D-pad, because this game doesn't support the analog sticks, so it makes it worse. But wait a minute, there's a much worse Dragon Ball game. Yeah, I don't have actual copies of the games yet, but I might look at them at one point.